Hey, good morning, all. Happy Thursday. So we're down to the final steps here, okay? And so I'm going to share with you. I'm going to do a brief walkthrough. Well, I don't know how brief it'll be. We'll see. Walkthrough on your My Learning, My Story letter that you're going to write to me here at the end of the term to select and support your final grade. All right. And so I'm going to read through this really quickly because I want to make sure that we're at a place where we understand what it is that I'm looking for, and kind of the why behind the what that I'm going to have you do here. All right. So as I shared with you back in January, and as I've tried to communicate to you over the weeks that have followed, your grade doesn't exist until the end of the term. Yes, there's been a grade in Skyward, but it, as I have said repeatedly, is not your grade. Your grade doesn't exist yet. But now that we are here near the end of the term, that's about to change. We are going to bring your grade to life, but before it becomes we, it's going to begin with you. You are going to have a chance to capture your learning story in a narrative letter to me in which you select and support a final grade. And from there, it then becomes we, because we have to agree. And please know that this is not a power place I have reserved for myself. My goal is not to pretend to give you a voice, only to overrule you in the end. That is not my goal at all. But that said, I do have a professional responsibility to make sure that you have support evidence for your selection. But I also have a personal responsibility to let you demonstrate your learning with new/different opportunities if requested. And that begins and ends with you. So, in a very real sense, you have control over when our learning conversation comes to an end. I will not deny you a chance to demonstrate your learning even after the quarter is over. So, with that, let's get started. Please follow the guidelines below. As I shared with you back in January, also, in the learning experiences letter that I wrote to you or provided for you, you have three choices in this class. You have A, B, or C. All right. You may also select plus or minus. All right. But those are the only three choices. D's and F's are not on the table in my class. Okay. Your learning letter must include the following. Please use the presented colors to identify required parts. Okay. Here's the dealio. For those of you who are going to select an A, all right, um, I will not agree to that until you have met the requirements of this letter. Okay. This is a big part of your learning. All right. And so I'm not saying you're not going to get an A. I'm just going to say that I'm not going to agree with you if you haven't met the requirements of this. So hopefully you're watching this video. Hopefully you're going to read this if you didn't watch the video, because I will simply continue to send it back to you until you have followed all the parts and pieces. Of course, those of you going for B's and C's, I'd like you to do the same, but I'm going to draw a proverbial line in the sand. If you want an A, then you are going to have to follow the guidelines that I am presenting. Okay, capiche? So let's be clear on what those are. You're going to write me a 5-paragraph letter. You're going to have an introduction. This should come as no surprise to you. Make a first impression with a narrative hook. All right. And please highlight that hook in yellow. Please establish the context of your general learning experience in my class this quarter. All right. So this is where you're going to follow your hook with some context about how your experience has gone in my class. And then finally, please provide a thesis statement that identifies your grade selection. Your thesis statement is simple. It could be something as simple as for these reasons, or I believe I have earned an A this quarter or this semester. All right. So your thesis statement is just indicating your grade selection. All right. So please, I expect to see your introduction with 3 colors there: a yellow hook, a green context, and a blue thesis statement. Okay. In the body, there are 3 paragraphs. These do not need to be lengthy paragraphs, but they need to be focused paragraphs. All right. And I have provided the focus for you. Please provide a paragraph that represents or presents your evidence from Skyward. All right. There's not a lot in Skyward, but it's something that you have to make reference to. For example, maybe if you're going for an A, the evidence that you're providing there is like, Cy, I've gotten a 1 on every single thing that you have asked me to do, and that's indicated in my record in Skyward. All right. And so please make sure that you're being specific about those things. The only grades you're going to see in Skyward, only scores you're going to see in Skyward, rather, are zeros, 0.7s, and 1s. Okay. If there's a 0.7 there, that means you're still learning on the table. It means you have not responded to the feedback that I've given you, revised, and resubmitted. there's still time to do that. Yes, it's late, but I will still work with you in that regard. If you have a bunch of 0.7s, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be hard to convince me that you have earned an A because I still believe that there's learning on the table. So if you're going for an A, please be aware that the record in Skyward is going to weigh heavily upon my coming to an agreement with you. All right. Um, please provide a paragraph. Next paragraph. Please provide a paragraph that presents evidence from your learning task work in Google Classroom. Not everything that matters is found in Skyward. All right. And as I've promised you all along, the work, the learning tasks, the daily practice, the record in Google Classroom can never hurt, but it can certainly help you. All right. I just want you to be honest here. You can go for an A having done very well on all the things that are in Skyward and maybe having kind of a shoddy record when it comes to Google Classroom. All right. I have been clear, whether you've been listening or not, I don't know, but I have been clear that the work, the daily learning tasks are optional things. All right. And I've also expressed that they can only help, they can never hurt. All right. So please give me an honest reflection on what the record shows with your Google Classroom work. All right. The next one's your paragraph. Please provide a paragraph that represents evidence from your experience in this class. All right. That also means your time outside of this class, but in relation to or in the context of my class. Maybe there's some things going on that I don't know about that you need to bring to my attention. All right. That are going to help me see where it is that you're coming from. Okay. All right. So that's your paragraph to do what you need to do to check in with me and to tell a part of your story that maybe is not represented in either Skyward or Google Classroom. Okay. And then finally, your conclusion. And what I'm looking for here is short and sweet, but I'm also looking for an intentional approach here. I expect to see a rehook. All right. And that means, folks, that you have to go back up to your hook. All right. And then you at least have to make some kind of connection, even if it's indirectly, connecting to the idea or the idea that you have created with your narrative hook. So please go back and rehook, and then please end by making a final impression with a final insight about your learning experience. Okay. Other requirements. All right. Um, I want you to use parenthesis at least twice in here. Okay. And when you do, I need you to highlight that in purple or whatever that color is. Okay. And then finally, I need you to take some responsibility for the correctness of your letter. And minimally, what I mean by that is I don't want to see any red or blue squiggly lines from Google Docs saying that there's a problem here. So either address those by ignoring them or address them by fixing them, but I don't expect to see any red or blue squiggly lines. Okay. And then please start your netter. Please start your letter here on the next page with Dear Cy. When I look at this, all right, my first glance is going to be, are there 5 paragraphs? Am I seeing the color coding that I asked you to do? All right. If I don't see those things, I'm going to send it back to you and I'm going to ask you to complete those things. All right. So I'm giving you 2 days to do this. All right. Um, please do it right the first time in terms of following guidelines, okay? So we don't have to continue. I don't want to be that pain in your butt, but for this, I'm going to be your pain or that pain in your butt, all right? I will continue to send this back to you until it is done correctly. I'm not asking anything unreasonable here. I'm asking you to take seriously this opportunity to step in and have a voice in determining what your final grade is going to be in here. As always, please reach out if you need help. Okay, I know I'm being a little serious this morning, but I am super excited to read your stories about how your learning experience has gone this semester. And as always, guys, reach out if you need help. All right, that's why I'm here. Sorry for the little bit of a serious tone this morning, but I want you guys to take this seriously, and I think my tone has to reflect that to some degree. All right, peace out, my friends.